Oh, don't worry. Somewhere, I think it's not welded all the way in.
We're spilling stuff everywhere. Make a collector. Boom tube.
What's up, everybody? Today on Cars and Cameras, we're back working on our scariest go-kart ever, and we just got a big shipment in from our favorite sponsor, GoPowersports.com. This is our Triumph 955 Triple with about 110, 125 horsepower, somewhere in there.
Is that all?
We don't even know, but basically the plan is to turn it into a sandrail. We have these massive paddle tires we're going to be installing, but the purpose of today's video is to make this chassis safe. This is like half homemade, half yard cart that sat outside, I'm guessing. The chassis is pretty rusty. With this much power, there's a lot of work we have to do to make it rideable and safe-ish.
Look at that. We got thick wall tubing. Look at this.
Thin wall.
In fact, it's a different diameter too, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
So,
and we have to cut all of this out from underneath.
Oh, don't worry. Somewhere, I think it's not welded all the way in.
Don't worry.
Yeah. So these up front, they're only welded across the top, not on the bottom.
It's the same thing with these too.
And the terrifying thing is, this kid might have had this thing running at one time.
Yeah, but I don't think he ever had it going, thank goodness. Because somebody will hurt themselves on this thing with it in this configuration. Is that?
Yeah,
good?
no, it'd be a lot of wheel hop and then a wheelie.
Yeah, it's
And then
definitely
flip ski.
Yeah, definitely. So, what we're gonna have to do, guys, is we're gonna have to take this axle and we're gonna have to move it back behind the engine, and this is why. Here's the drive right here. On a motorcycle, the chain does not travel down, so there's no way.
It has to come
straight back. So we're gonna move the axle back, and we're gonna lower the cart down, which is gonna help keep it
Center of gravity
more stable. And
something.
Yeah, and so when we're back here, we're gonna have the sprocket, and the chain can go up. Anyhow, we got to move the sprocket back, and we're gonna have to figure a chain going to the sprocket. My thought is, you see how they put the frame together here?
Oh my gosh,
It's a box, and they did it sideways, so it's gonna want to snap right there.
The fuses are right here.
Yeah.
Like.
So we got to lift that stuff. We got to put it on top
Oil
of
cooler.
the frame,
Yeah.
which I don't think that'll be a problem.
Dude. So we're going to cut out this middle section, and we're just going to flip it and weld it right back in.
All right. So we've been just kind of sitting here talking about our plans with this thing,
Because we want to go fast.
and
We also don't want to die.
I really do not like the design of this frame. One, we have multiple size wall thicknesses from one side to the other. We have, it's heavy, dude.
Oh my, dude.
It's real heavy. So
That two-seater go-kart I can lift with one arm.
I'm kind of thinking maybe if we do a rail 2.0.
A sand rail.
And, well, a sand rail, but we can also take the sand paddle tires off and maybe put it on the track.
Whoa.
Like the dirt. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
Like the asphalt.
Yeah, why not?
Like drag strip.
Yeah. So dirt drag strip and asphalt drag strip.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, but the big thing is rail 2.0.
Absolutely.
And, you know, when we get this thing going and the other one going, we can both try them out at the track together.
Well, I mean, that's what happened after they built the first car, and then they built the second one. They raced.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm just spitballing this thing out. What do you think?
Cool.
I like it because we were already talking about removing everything good on this, cutting the bad stuff off, and then putting it back.
It's a lot of work. And
the frame's going to be very, very, very heavy.
And we still don't know what we have and what we're relying on.
Right. So I'm thinking
take all the good stuff off.
Scratch this. we copy that,
But the engine behind us.
but the engine will be behind us.
All right.
I'm down.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, good morning, everybody. After sleeping on it, I really think that parting out this death trap and building something completely from scratch is going to be the safest and fastest way to move forward on a project like this. So here is the parts on the ground moment. We're going to use a little bit of design inspiration from the 670 dragster, except we're going to do the rear engine design with the driver in front. More modern design should handle better.
Oh boy. With a headache hoop.
With a big old headache hoop.
All right. This should be cool.
So I need to start drawing up some plans. Charles, you're going to start stripping the old go-kart.
Yeah, and you know, we're gonna. Hopefully, I don't have to cut it up too bad, because I mean, we might just be able to put like a Tillison on that thing and drive it around.
And ride. So we were getting to the point where the engine is ready to come out, and then Sunoco came by and dropped off our fuel for 2023. So,
My goodness.
yeah, dude. So we have 3 55-gallon drums of 95 octane Optima. This is ethanol free. It's designed for equipment that sits like pretty much everything in this building. On top of that, they sent us some 100 octane 260 GT. We have a secret engine that we're building very soon that we're going to need to run this on. And the rail from now on is going to run Sunoco methanol. So here in a couple of weeks, we're going to be going down to Barber Motorsports Park to race lemons with Junkyard Diggs and bringing one of these with us. So it's going to be awesome.
Dude,
super awesome to work with Sunoco every year. They've been a sponsor for a few years now, and it's an impressive amount of fuel.
We forgot about
the jack stand. A little more?
Yep.
That would have lasted about.
I mean,
Half
this
a
one's
pole.
already blown out right there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't know what happened over there.
Huh.
I'd spin it, but the chain's all caught up. in
Yeah.
this.
These are nice and light. Problem is, they're probably already kind of old, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a slick does not have that long of a shelf life. We can try to run it, but they're nice and light.
Yeah, look at that.
What?
That's bad.
Well, that's some kind of DIY set screw, if I had to guess.
Yep.
All right, well, now we can get the hoist all the way under it and pull the engine out.
Cool. He had the tabs probably bolted and set the motor and welded them in place.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're lifting.
Sweet.
We're just
And we're dumping. Oh
We
boy.
got fuel coming out. More fuel.
More fuel.
Okay, so now I need to get in this thing and lift the head. So come on. You got the boom out.
Yeah. Oh, dumpage.
Oh man.
Major dumpage. Oh dear. That's
We're spilling stuff everywhere. All right,
Here we go.
Put it in reverse. Put it in reverse, Terry.
You got it.
I got it. Okay,
All right, ready to move out?
baby.
Just be careful.
Yeah. You too.
I'm trying not to jerk, but sometimes it's all you can do, you know?
Okay. Let me come follow
Coming
you.
up.
Oh dear. I'm stuck. All right, come on. Oh, hold on. All right, keep going.
Man, we could probably move the go-kart
Yeah.
at this point, right? Just leave the engine there. Woo! That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
That's some horsepower right there, bud.
Yeah.
An inline 3.
I think the last engine that.
Oh, it's dumping everywhere.
It's just coolant. It's going. The last engine I had on this was the one that's in my red truck, so good to go. But look at that. That's interesting. Look at the exhaust ports.
Oh, that's cool. I wonder why they
I guess
do
it's
that.
it's got dual exhaust valves.
Huh.
I bet.
Makes sense.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I think we can work with this.
Yeah.
Make a collector. Boom tube.
Trying to put back together.
Yeah, this thing is. Well, it's okay.
It's okay.
I'm not gonna. I need to stop saying bad things about it, because someone really had it. They really tried hard to make this a fun project, Well, what did you say? Application application was good, but the execution was so-so.
The execution was pretty good.
Oh, that's
design pretty
sketchy.
bad.
Pretty sketchy.
Case in point, why we decided to abandon this chassis is this shift rod looked fine, and then we plucked the motor and put a general amount of pressure on it, and it snapped.
Yeah, and that's solid. That's solid round stock, welded end to end, and then grind the welds down. So that it made it weak, and that's why we sleeve, plug it, and rosette stuff when we cut it. And if that's how the rest of the chassis is, I'm glad we're not using it. Because I mean, look, he could have finished welding it, but it didn't get finished, and the motor was already in it. So I didn't even see that. My goodness, what else is?
What else are we not?
Yeah,
seeing?
it's like, you know, and then see how he's welded all this stuff together, and all the welds are ground down smooth. Are they going to be that weak? Not saying he did anything wrong. It's just that that's what we run into is when it's unknowing, you know.
So this is a rough mock-up of what it's all going to look like. And we've been looking at a whole bunch of designs on like a modern rear engine dragster.
Mm-hmm.
And even the full scale stuff is like 1 1/4 tubing.
Yep.
1 3/8 tubing. So we're going to use 1-inch 083 wall DOM tubing. We just don't have any here. So we need to make a run to get some. And
Store.
what's that?
To the middle store.
To the middle store. Then we're going to talk a little more about the design. So it looks like the white is going to be 083 wall, and that's what we want. So we're going to grab 60 feet of this, and we're going to get some 095 just cuz, and then we'll get some thinner stuff as well.
I prefer the 096, but you gotta do what you gotta do. What you're looking at is the sandrail future frame. Just, you know, some assembly required. That's it.
All right, so the hardest part about this whole shindig, can you push those boards, is going to be the proportionality. Well, of course, safety, but then also proportionality. So we're trying to figure out, like, the bottom bars in relation to the top bars. Oops.
Miata.
So, here goes there. Was this our... This wasn't our 095, was it?
I don't know.
Jeez, this feels heavier than what we need, honestly.
So that's what we have to accomplish, is the top bars.
Yeah, it's the top bars. Specifically, the height of our front suspension kind of box, or front whatever. There you go. So the height of the front whatever, and then the, can you go back just to the, yep, same with this one. So it's like, you know what I mean, this.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Is that gonna look like a rail car? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I don't know either. None of us can tell because we're both holding it.
Yeah. Oh dear. I feel like, I don't know.
So getting the proportions right on this thing has been kicking our tails a little bit. Because we're doing such a stubby rail, it's hard to get kind of the vertical spacing right.
It's weird. It's something that we've never, like, well, no, you guys have. It's new for me to
get the scale size right.
Yeah,
because it's
like,
not a full scale.
No, that, and we're really trying to make this thing as safe as possible, like as if it was a real dragster, and the bars kind
have to cover
covering the shoulders and then go over our head and behind us and stuff. And we're creating a door wedge pretty much with wheels.
That's got to look cool.
That's got to look cool. And at first it didn't look cool. So we started messing around and changing the angles, and I think we have something. But before we get worried and all bent out of shape on this, we need to start with the box up front, right?
Yep.
All right.
So here's basically what our front end is going to look like, and it's what the front end on a lot of modern dragsters look like with the Cars and Cameras twist. They basically build a box, and then they have these I don't even know what they call it, but it's not a control arm because it doesn't pivot, but basically it goes to the spindle, and there's your front tire. We're going to have a little added flair of having adjustment to be able to raise or lower the ride height so we can switch between off-road use and pavement, like drag strip use. So we're going to get cranking on this box up front, and then we're going to worry about the spindles and then the body. Dude, it already looks legit.
It does.
We'll be able to build a nose off of that, and it's going to be so freaking cool. So we still need to set the camber caster, or the front end alignment, basically. But before we do all that, we need to set our, basically our top bar height. We tacked that so we can still adjust up or down. And then we realized we actually need to put all 4 of these pieces in the bender. So right now we have the wedge effect, and behind the seat, wherever the cage ends, it actually needs to bend and go parallel with where the engine mounts are going to be. So these tacks are just to hold this in place while we kind of figure out where we're going to bend at and get our seating position, cage position figured out.
Yeah, we figured this was the best way to keep it mocked up. It may seem like it's one step forward, one step back, but we have to absolutely do this.
Well, the reality is we're building a frame on the ground, and we, don't have a bunch of clamps.
It might do 100 miles an hour on the dirt. We need to do it the right way. No tape.
All right, we got our front end just kind of tacked in here. We just tacked it so we can still adjust the shoulder height for our roll bar, but we definitely want to keep that dragster look, and if we go much more than that, I think we're going to kind of lose the look. So Charles had a great idea. We could just put a tube right here that connects to the back of the cage to give us that shoulder protection, but it'll still give us the rail look. Now, Ike is the biggest person that's going to be fitting in this thing, and he's not here, so we really can't do much else until he arrives. But I think what we have so far is super promising. I mean, that's over 100 horsepower. We've got something that's the same size as Dragster 1.0. This thing should move, and we're going to set it up for dual purpose, asphalt, and the sand.
Absolutely. Why not? Because, I mean, we should put them head to head when we do that.
Exactly.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Exactly. And this is a stock engine, makes over 100 horsepower. It's got more displacement than the 670. There's no, we could go turbo methanol on this thing at some point too.
For right now, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Let's just get it running.
Yeah, let's just get it running.
Yeah.
So we're going to wait to continue until Isaac can join us next week. Thank you all for watching. If you are craving some longer form Cars and Cameras content, go check out our most recent episode of At the Wheel with Cars and Cameras. It's the Cars and Cameras podcast. We had Greg and Lonnie on from Redbeard's Garage. We talked about their new dyno. We talked about side-by-sides. We talked about kind of their schedule for 2023 and upcoming plans that we both have. It was a fun time. Me and Charles chatted with them for, an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. It went by like that. I'll link that in the description for you all to check out. I'm going to link all the Go Power Sports parts we're using in this build in the description as well. We have their 5-spoke wheels. We have some of their knobby tires. We have their front end kit steering.
Flat bottom steering wheel.
Yeah, flat bottom steering wheel, chromoly axle, live axle hangers. So all that good stuff I'll link in the description as well. Thank you all for watching. Leave a thumbs up for the Drag Rail 2.0. This is big stuff right here, man.
I know.
Can't wait to hit the dirt and the asphalt, and we'll see you next time. So, a quick update on this project. It looks like the original builder actually commented on our first episode of the Triumph go-kart. He said he started building it when he was 15. He's 19 years old now. And it was a go-kart that he got from his dad's buddy's place. It was growing up with weeds on it. They painted it. They installed a Predator 212, and then they installed a built Predator 212. And I'm guessing that wasn't enough, so they decided to go with the Triumph. I would love to put this go-kart back together with a 212 because that's going to be like the perfect size engine for this thing, especially looking everything over.
we're definitely happy we're going the sandrail method. But Jesse, we want to let you know that we're planning on putting this go-kart back together with a Predator at some point in time. So that was really cool of the original builder to comment on the video. Hope you guys are enjoying the sandrail series, and we'll see you Wednesday.
Anyhow, I'm actually looking forward to this project.
This is gonna be sweet.
This is like
Yeah.
when the shop teacher goes on vacation and the kids have access to the shop.